Welcome to the cookout, where everybody's hoping to do some cooking and not get cooked. This is the first of the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Primer series, where we are going to dive into mechanics of the game for beginners, intermediates, and some advanced stuff. But for the most part, with the resurgence of the game, we are going to try and help those who have never played the game be able to get into the game with all the mechanics that are involved and try to understand a little bit more about what goes on. We will try to do a video per character, but this first video we're going to go over some of the basic concepts in the game and the basic mechanics. Hope you enjoy. Please like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at ScrewedMcDuck, ScroodMcDuck. Also on Twitch under the same name. Hope to see you then. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with the basic Magneto combo. Here we are going, I'm just kidding. Stay tuned for the rest of the video. We're going to be trying to build us up to points like this with all the characters in the game. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 uses a 6-button control scheme using the jab, short, fierce, roundhouse, assist 1, assist 2. In order to reach maximum potential in chain combos, the game allows a Gatling system of being able to multi-tap the jab and or short kick buttons in succession to access the medium punch or medium kick buttons. The Gatling system allows you to alternate between the jab and the short kick button as well, going from jab to short, then back to jab to short kick again, thus creating a jab, short, medium punch, medium kick combo, still being able to finish the combo with a fierce. Tagging is done by pressing jab and short kick together in order to bring in the character that's in the secondary slot, or fierce and roundhouse to bring in the character that's in the third slot. Launchers in the game exist, and they're all character specific. However, for most characters there is what's called a universal launcher button, which is by holding down forward and hitting the fierce button or the roundhouse button, depending on the character, to be able to perform that character's universal launcher, as some characters only have launchers that are tied to their medium punch or medium kick buttons, such as Blackheart. Once you've mastered the art of launching your opponent, you want to be able to tap up after hitting with those launchers to be able to follow your opponent up into the air and then perform an air combo in the air to do more damage. Normal attacks can chain or combo or cancel into each other by going from light to heavy in that succession, but not in the opposite direction. However, if you whiff any of your normal attack buttons, you will not be able to cancel those into other normals. You always need to make contact, either by hit or by block. Launchers exist in the game to allow players to simply tap up and chase their opponent and perform an aerial combo. However, a more advanced technique is what's called super jump canceling, where you are able to hit with a normal attack and then tap down up in order to super jump cancel that normal and perform a super jump. These are all different types of windows to be able to perform this type of cancel. However, you need to experiment with each and every character. Movement consists of typical fighting game directional inputs for jumping by tapping up, or crouching, tapping down, and walking back or forward. The game consists of super jumping by tapping down and up in quick succession in order to perform a larger than normal jump, as well as the game consists of ground dashing, which has double inputs for back or forward to perform either a back dash or forward dash respectively. The game also has command dashes by tapping both punches to perform a standard forward dash or by holding back and both punches to perform a back dash. All dashes can be canceled by tapping down in order to stop short the dash, and in order to perform what's called wave dashing in the game, by inputting both punches, tapping down, and then repeating by letting the stick go back to neutral, you will be able to perform a wave dash by inputting the movements repetitively. All characters have special moves or super moves involved with the game. Special moves requiring only a special command input in order to perform, while as supers require at least one bar of super meter, which is found at the bottom of the screen, in order to perform. Each character has a different set of move lists, and therefore we'll cover over all the individual videos for specific characters. Another form of canceling in the game is what's called super canceling. Now that we've understood that characters have special moves created with special inputs or special commands, those commands or those special moves can actually be canceled mid-move or on hit into a super move. All supers require one bar, therefore are unable to be performed without super meter. But once one is attained, you're able to cancel normal moves or special moves into supers. You can also do them standalone as well. In order to gain super meter in the game, you must either be performing normal moves, special moves, or being hit by the opponent in order to gain super meter. As it gradually builds up, you will be able to carry up to 5 levels of super meter. The game allows for a unique ability in regards to the team aspect of the game, what are called team supers. By pressing both assist 1 and assist 2 together, you'll perform a team attack depending on how much super meter you have. Should you only have 1 bar of super meter, you'll only perform one singular super from the point character, whereas if you have 2 bars of super meter, you'll be able to perform a two-person attack with the first and second character in the team order. Should you have 3 bars of super meter, you'll perform a triple team attack correspondingly with the amount of super bars that you have. Another feature in the game that's unique to Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is what's called delayed hyper combos. Short, we'll refer to them as DHCs. This allows for your team to be able to perform one super move in succession to the next teammate, depending on if you have the amount of super meter involved. You can only perform this matter 3 times, and you can only perform the DHC while the screen is flashing during the super move. A unique method of using DHCs in the game is to be able to use the freeze time ability involved, whereas when activating super, DHCing will allow the next character that's coming in to be able to perform the motion or the startup to that super while the other character or your opponent is frozen in time. Another aspect of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is more of a chaotic mechanic involving mashing. In regards to certain moves or supers, by mashing on the stick and buttons, you will be able to perform or obtain more damage or more hits involved with that specific move. The game has another form of canceling, whereas you are able to whiff normal attacks and perform special moves by canceling the whiff normal attack animation into a special move. This allows for a little bit more generous input error on behalf of the user. However, it can lead to unique abilities to bait and switch on your opponent. Now that we've gone over a few of the offensive abilities in the game, the next aspect is the defensive capabilities that the game offers. The traditional method of defending against attacks is referred to as blocking, by holding the joystick away from the opponent by either holding down back, or up back to respectively be able to crouch low and block, or stand up and block, or to be able to jump and block. In order to block low attacks, you must be able to block low by holding down back. To block overhead attacks, you must be able to stand up and block by holding back. In order to sort of bypass both of those, you are allowed to jump and block. However, there are aspects of jumping and blocking that need to be discussed in a little bit. Marvel's unique aspect of a team-based fighter allows for the assist mechanic involved. Assists can greatly improve your offense or defense involved, but in regards to when you can call an assist, you must follow a certain set of rules involved. You can only call an assist when you are not being hit or stuck in block stun. You must also be on the ground or crouching or in a normal jump state or in flight mode. You're unable to call an assist while doing a typical super jump, whereas we will go over to kind of how to get around that in a little bit. But in regards to assist calls, you must be in full control of your character or in a normal jump type of state or flight mode in order to call that assist. Here's an example of being able to call an assist when in block animation, but not in block stun. As you notice, Iron Man is not able to call an assist while in block stun. However, even though he is in block animation, subsequently, he's able to call an assist before becoming in block stun. Another defensive option that you have in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is when you are blocking a move and you have access to a super bar, you are able to input the motion of rolling the stick from back to down, pressing either assist 1 or assist 2 to perform an alpha counter. This will subsequently tag in a teammate, depending on which assist button you use, to try and help you escape the offensive pressure of your opponent. Another aspect that alpha counters have is they carry over the exact same super canceling that you would normally have when that character is in. A way to bypass your opponent's guard is to be able to throw your opponent. Throwing is performed by either pressing forward or backwards, and either the fierce or roundhouse button, depending on the character you're using, and you must be within close proximity of the opponent. You may also perform air throws with most characters, but there are a few exceptions of characters that do not have air throws. Another set of defensive options that you have involved with the game involve combating with throws or hard knockdowns, which is tech hitting or tech rolling. When you were thrown, if you were able to correspondingly hit the direction and the corresponding button of what button you're being thrown with, you were able to escape the throw without taking any damage. However, if you are unable to do it in a timely fashion, you can do what's called a tech or a safe fall, where you flip up and land on your feet as opposed to landing on your back. That is pressing any button right before impact of the ground. Tech rolling is performed by performing a quarter scroll forward motion with any button. You must always perform a quarter scroll forward towards your opponent, whichever way they are facing. Here we're going to try to be able to discuss the different states of being able to put your character into in order to start calling assists in situations they normally wouldn't be able to do that. In this regards, we're going to use Iron Man's knee press, which is a jumping move by pressing down and roundhouse. The down and roundhouse will put him in an animation where subsequently it normally would put him to the ground, and if you were to use an air dash to cancel out of the knee press, he will be put into a normal jump state. The knee press puts him into this normal jump state, which in turn allows you to call his assist before hitting the ground, even though he made a super jump prior to. The other aspect that we're going to look at is when you tech hit a throw, you are able to be put into normal jump status, whereas being put into normal jump status, you are now able to call an assist before hitting the ground. The health bar has a unique attribute to it, to where as you take damage or your opponent takes damage, there is a red life bar that subsequently shows up. This is what's called recoverable life. This amount of life can be recovered from either special moves or abilities, or tagging out into a benched position on your team, to where you will be able to gradually recover the amount of life that is on the red life bar. You'll end up forfeiting that red life bar should you be either brought back in to the point position, or you're the only character left on the screen. A savvy way of trying to forfeit your opponent's red life is by either attacking their assist or their point character, and once they have tagged out or trying to recover that life, being able to snap them out of the bench position back to point position by using the snapback mechanic, which is performed by using one super bar and the command of quarter circle forward, assist 1 or assist 2 for the corresponding points on the opponent's team. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has various hit stuns and states where you need to be aware of how to react, or how to be able to combo or set up situations for yourself, or to be able to defend against. The first would be just regular hit stun, where as you are hitting your opponent or you are being hit, knowing that these types of moves will not be doing any type of hard knockdown or forced knockdown, to where you will need to be able to block correspondingly if the opponent is not quick enough to continue hitting you. The other would be a forced knockdown from a aerial combo, which would cause flying screen. In regards to a flying screen hard knockdown, you are knocked to the ground flat on your back, and your opponent is unable to roll or correspondingly move. If you are able to hit your opponent on the ground during this flying screen animation, subsequently the game tries to prevent you from continuing comboing by forcing your opponent to roll away from you. We will go in detail with individual characters on how to get around this to be able to continue comboing with your characters. The other is just a regular hard knockdown, which allows for an OTG state where you're able to continue comboing. Most hard knockdowns can be performed by a sweep or certain types of throws or moves that prevent your character from flipping out and will fall to the ground onto their backs without causing flying screen. and able to get to your opponent quickly, you're able to land one off the ground ability on them in one combo. Therefore, when this instance, Magneto throwing the opponent, they are thrown into a hard knockdown position, dashing over, hitting with a light short to be able to pick them off the ground, and subsequently comboing them afterwards. However, if you're not fast enough, your opponent may be able to tech roll to get away from said off the ground abilities. The last topic of the video will be normal jump states and guard breaks. Normal jump states require a player to perform a series of actions and land on the ground before they can perform another series of actions. When a character is in a normal jump state, they are limited to one set of actions. Blocking is considered one of those sets of actions. Now, you are able to block something and then correspondingly hit a button or air dash or anything like that directly after blocking. However, should they wait too long after the block has commenced, they will be unable to do anything except land to the ground and not perform any other actions. The concept of guard break in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is when a player recognizes an opponent will be in a normal jump state where they are forced to block a situation, and the opponent has to either make the decision to either try to press a button and challenge or hopefully land on the ground before they are punished. Here's an example of Magneto attacking an opponent who has just been recently snapped out.